This is starting. I think we're starting.
We're starting.
That's how it starts.
Push it with your dick, dude.
It worked! I am Ray Taylor. I clearly don't have a regular job. I was never really into comic books growing up. Like, I was a geek.
Well, you should tell your face that, because you look exactly like
I do.
Watch the fights.
Fuck yeah, I watch the fights.
I'm Keith Spurlock.
I watch every kind of pornography.
I said, all right, to counteract my cancer that I'm giving myself, I smoke weed after every cigarette.
What were we just fucking talking about? And this is the Inspired Disorder Podcast. I'm not going to allow you to have an opinion on this just because you're wrong.
Is anyone else's podcast about like jerking off in UFC?
We're back.
We are.
And I'm clearly, for the listeners at home, holding the trophy.
No.
And for the people viewing, you know the truth.
No, it's you're wearing this goofy hat again, and I'm holding this trophy again.
It's a close card.
It's very close.
Went down to the very last fight. Tied up. And clearly I made the wrong pick for the championship fight there. Oh, it's weird that it's cropped all weird like that for some reason. Anyway, guess I'll have to fix that later. So only one fight that we picked didn't go through.
Yeah.
It was only 11 fights. Pretty quick card overall.
Yeah, it would start off slow.
Start off with a bunch of decisions.
And then it picked up after that.
Yeah. Right. And then that and that. So what we are talking about, obviously, the fights that happened last night, UFC Fight Night from Auckland, New Zealand.
The fights that happened last night.
The fights that happened last night. Saturday, June 10th was last night. 2017. Headlined by Derek Lewis and Mark Hunt. Let's get into our picks. Starting off with the one and only early Fight Pass prelims. Still don't have a picture for Chanmi Zhang, but JJ Ulrich versus Chanmi Zhang.
I don't think they've updated this at all because she would have a loss.
Yeah, and it's giving us just regular stats, not giving us fight stats. So let's see if that refreshes something. Internet? Hello, people? Maybe?
Knock, knock.
Hello?
Anyone? UFC?
But we could talk about the JJ Aldrich John fight. First fight for Jean.
Yeah.
19 years old.
Came in on late notice.
Yeah.
Missed weight.
Yeah, she was off weight by there we go. By a smidge, like 3 pounds, something like that.
She weighed in 118. She's only 19.
Yep.
Crazy.
Oh, it doesn't have it for the thing. Anyway. Oh well. Didn't look horrible. I mean, clearly lost the fight. She had some good moments.
Yeah.
She could take a punch. But you know, for being 19, her first fight in the UFC, great first performance.
I got my eye on this girl.
JJ Ulrich didn't look bad either. Trains with Rose.
Yeah.
Lives out here in Westminster. But a good win for Aldrich. Decent first fight.
Yeah.
Pretty good fight. Pretty one-sided, but still competitive. Got to see a new female fighter. So moving on to the first of the FS1 prelim fights, Zach Otto versus Kichi Kunimoto.
And I mentioned when we were picking him that he looks like a bronze statue.
Yeah.
But then it makes sense that he's like trains with Akiyama.
Yeah.
And Akiyama is a bronze statue of a man. An Asian man.
Yes, I agree. Good fight. Pretty, I mean, it kind of first round. Who won this one?
Otto won by split decision.
Yeah. It was close. I could see it. I mean, first round, he for sure won it. Last round, Kunimoto for sure won it.
For almost
controlled
the majority
whole
of the round.
Second round, he was able to get a takedown, but then it got reversed a couple times, so not a whole lot happened. So it's kind of up to that second round.
Yeah.
How you judge it, if it's control versus damage. But they were both. It was a good fight though, competitive, back and forth. I wonder what performances and everything. Elliott, Hooker, Lewis, right on. So anyway, good win for Otto. good performance from both of these guys.
I feel bad for Otto. Every single fight since he's been in the UFC has been a split decision.
Well,
and I think he lost his last one to
was his welterweight
Moreno or something.
Right. Yeah, I don't remember. I know I've seen him, and he's looked good. Tough division, though.
I think his first fight, he came in as a late replacement for someone else, too.
Right.
So,
so moving on to the next fight, John Moraga versus Askin. When they say it, it's so much easier. Mokhtarian, yeah, there you go. The assassin.
I really wish they had his picture because
Me
this
too.
fucking guy.
He's fun to look at.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of different things going on.
Lot of stuff.
A lot
happening.
of different flavors of tattoos. Got the long ass rat tail, the tribal eye scar.
Yeah. I earned my eye scar. This guy just fucking tattoos it on his face.
Enjoyed watching him fight. First time in the UFC.
Yeah,
for him.
It was fun.
So for his first fight in the UFC, not bad.
But to go up against
Moraga,
a former title contender.
How good Moraga was fighting in this fight, like just constant pressure. Like he was a champ. Like how champs fight. I mean, the fact that he survived Moraga is saying something, I think. But great fight for Moraga.
And you had Moraga on that. So far, we're just picking the winners so far. So you're
they've all been
2-1.
decisions so far. The last one, the only split decision. This one was unanimous. Clearly unanimous. I wasn't too... None of the decisions were... Vexed me.
I was like, oh, fucking judges.
Well, how do you get a 30-27? How does that happen? All right. So moving on to Luke Jumo versus Dominique Steele. And this one went to Jumo.
Yeah, this was another decision.
Looked good.
He looked great.
Steele started getting
for his first time in, but Steele just hasn't
started getting gassed a little bit.
He looks scary, but it's about.
It was good. It's not like he was fighting a scrub or anything like that, but yeah, he's not like impressing the fuck out of me at all.
I think his first fight he impressed me because he old school slammed someone.
Well, he has when he is winning, his style is kind of like Ben Bose's kind of got like a super crazy style, which is fun to watch when they're winning, but when they're not, it's like okay.
But yeah,
he kept trying to go for a takedown that never happened.
Steele on that one, so that puts you up 3-1. So I'm really excited about how things are looking so far.
So moving on to the feature bout for the FS1 prelims. Damian Brown versus Vince Pichel. Yeah, Pichel.
And wow, Pichel. Yeah, it was back and forth. It was a good fight for a while it lasted, but Pichel just
first round
knocked him the fuck out.
Yeah, he caught him coming in with like a uppercut. I think he caught him with a right hand or a left hand and then an uppercut. But the uppercut turned him into a Jello. But he just collapsed.
Brown was pressuring him up against the fence, and he just caught him on the way in, and it was just crumbled. And
so didn't really see much from Brown. It's pretty good fight back and forth.
He was like one of the only hometown. I guess that Mokhtarian guy.
There was a few. There was a few that were from.
Lost.
Yeah. But Pichel, I guess, has been out for like 4 years or some shit,
which made me nervous once. Because you would pick Brown,
right?
But he came through.
Looked good for 4 years off. He was screaming about ring rust being bullshit, which is like okay
for you, maybe.
For you, yeah.
Okay.
Good job.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just good. Maybe you look better after that was
4
ring
years.
rust. So moving on to the main card of UFC Auckland. Starting off with Alexander Volkanovski versus Mizuto Hirota. The Pugness.
This was Volkanovski's first fight in the. There was a lot of guys' first fight, but Volkanovski really impressed me.
I guess he normally fights at 135, so this is him not cutting as much weight to do 145. They were mentioning it during the broadcast, and he looked great. He was
great.
out wrestling him.
Great
Started
pressure.
to kind of gas towards
a
the
little
end.
at the end, but
Because it was a lot of wrestling. He was kind of dominant in a lot of positions.
Hirota can take a fucking spinning elbow.
Oh, yeah.
Because this Volkanovski landed about 4 of them flush.
Yeah. Pretty one-sided fight.
Piecing him up. It was a great fight.
Yeah. Even though this was another decision, but it was unanimous.
He won every round.
Yeah, for sure. But good fight from Volkanovski. I guess were they saying he's from, I think he was local. He trains out of Australia, yeah. Or somewhat local. But good win for Volkanovski. Look forward to seeing him move up the ranks. So next fight, Tim Elliott versus Ben Wynn. I picked Elliott.
Yeah.
And it was...
I would have picked Elliott also. I like Ben Wynn, but...
It was a quick fight.
Yeah.
Mostly scrambles. Not a lot of stand-up. It kind of went to the ground pretty quick. And
Ben landed a good shot.
Yeah.
Got him down.
Yeah.
Took his back.
Yeah.
Took his back like twice. Like the first time it didn't work.
Well, Tim Elliott was good at trying to get out of shit.
Stood up and went 2 hands on the feet.
Yeah, he was caught in a rear naked choke and didn't defend the hands.
He went for the hooks instead of the hands. Mm-hmm. And Ben sunk it in. What it was 40-second fight?
Yeah. Yeah, 50.
It was crazy.
Yeah. Good win for Wynn.
and he's kind of like, even though he's from the US, like he was like an MMA champ in Australia.
Right.
Like that's like where he started his career was in Australia.
Right. That's cool. Cool.
So I think that's why they had him
on the card.
Yeah.
Help sell tickets, basically local.
So that actually tied it up.
Yeah.
Or no, actually, now I'm in the lead because I had Volkanovski.
Yeah.
And you picked Elliott on that. So now it's 4-3.
All right. Moving on to Henrique da Silva versus Ion like Lion and Zion Kutalaba, the Hulk, Mr. Nipples.
Mr. Long Nips himself.
Yeah.
I picked
an even quicker fight.
I picked Da Silva in this one.
An even faster
fight. I really
fight.
shouldn't have because...
He got clipped and pounded out pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was... I mean, all these last fights basically are finishes.
Yeah.
And these two, back-to-back, like, super quick finishes. Like, not even a minute. Like, not even a minute... No, it's a minute total.
A minute total?
Yeah, it's a minute 9, according to Wikipedia. Yeah. But good win for Kutalaba. I think he lost his last fight, but he's been fighting kind of tough dudes. Not that Da Silva's not a tough dude. He just kind of got caught early and got pounded out pretty quick. So moving on to the next.
So now that ties it up because I had Da Silva.
Dan Hooker versus Ross Pearson. Dan Hooker coming up in weight. Fighting at a heavier weight class, light heavyweight. No, lightweight. Read the wrong one, and looked good, man. I mean, it was a pretty rewatching it. Like I just remembered the knockout from last night, and then rewatching it is like, all right, it
was close. Pearson was actually
he kept catching Pearson with like this double jab. Something I forget what it was. He kept throwing it over and over again, and then Pearson kept going for that fucking left hook to the body and kept, lowering his head. See, I don't know if that's what he was throwing when he got caught, but he was going in.
Yeah.
And it was perfect. Perfect knee catching him. And Hooker uses distance good for being tall against a vet.
I was pretty impressed with Dan Hooker. He still got caught a few times.
Sure.
Handled it well.
I don't think Ross was ever winning the fight.
No.
Maybe parts of the first round.
Cracked
maybe
him a couple times though. The kid's nose was busted up.
Sure. Yeah. In the second round, he was starting to tag him up a little bit. Yeah. But he was also getting hit with a lot more too. So it's like they're both just eating more. But good win for Dan Hooker.
You picked Hooker.
He's a local guy. They had a bunch of giant Hooker fans bunch of Hooker sluts in the stadiums with giant heads.
And now that puts you up one.
Right. Moving on to Derek Brunson, Invisible Man,
who
versus,
is so black you can't see him.
Yeah. Versus Daniel Kelly. I mean, I picked Kelly in this. No, I didn't.
I picked Brunson.
I was
you were happy
okay
with Kelly.
I would have picked Brunson too.
Yeah.
But it's like Kelly's a tough guy. He just ends up winning a lot. Except for this time. I think the first punch thrown knocked him down.
It was another quick one. This one
lasted a little bit longer. Oh, Brunson's got
now he's a shadow person.
He's not even ranked. Maybe they're updating the site right now. Quick win for Brunson. That's how it should have gone, right?
Yeah.
And when you see matchups with Kelly, that's probably how it's going to go. And then usually,
how I thought.
So many of them.
But,
I mean, is Rashad was, but Rashad had been out and injured and not looked good in forever. So that was more of like a two old dudes.
Just look back
basically.
At his patty cake match with Little Nog. That was a terrible.
That was just a That was like the Theodoro Alvey fight.
Just high five
where they just not engaging the whole time. Yeah. So good win for Brunson.
So that ties it up down to the last match.
Yep. Derek Lewis versus Mark Hunt. We have Lewis on a run. He was on a 8 fight win streak. Mark Hunt had been not winning a lot of fights. Lost to Brock, and then he lost to Alistair. And it seems like there was one other one in there, but good win for him. It was a pretty even fight for the most part, up until like Lewis started getting really gassed and like couldn't do anything at that point. He's still throwing crazy shit.
Yeah, he was throwing crazy kicks. Not a lot were landing. They both tagged each other.
They're all landing.
The Mark Hunt.
It's not like he whiffed on those kicks.
Appeared to be just controlling the entire fight, though. Even though
Lewis was backing up the whole fight, his back was against the cage the whole
Hunt
fight.
Pretty much dictated where the fight happened.
Lewis was trying to counter every time Hunt came in, and he would kind of throw, he'd throw the kicks and like the flying knees and shit from distance. He didn't want to get anywhere near when Hunt came in, but he tagged Hunt, a bunch of times. So I mean, it was a competitive fight, but once Lewis, again, like his fight, although he turned it around in his fight against Travis Brown.
Yeah.
He's got some gut issues.
Well, and then Mark Hunt, once he started to get him tired, smartly just started going to the body with some heavy shots.
Well, and he's probably seen the last fight Lewis was in. He's like, oh, well, that's a big target. Like, anybody that fights Matt Brown knows that his liver is a target.
Yeah.
Like, he's gotten dropped by liver shots almost more than anybody. I know there's a couple other guys that get dropped pretty regularly with liver shots, but yeah, it's a hole Lewis has. But it's also, he's fighting a guy that's been around forever in the heavyweight division, still relevant for the most part in the heavyweight division.
I mean, they're 6 and 7.
Yeah.
But what'd you think about Lewis saying he might retire?
I don't know. A lot of people are saying they might retire. And he doesn't like he's like Rumble. He doesn't like training and all that shit. He's just, he was knocking a bunch of people out. But a lot of people are talking about retirement. Just do whatever you want to do. I don't give a fuck. It would suck because he's at least interesting addition to the heavyweight division. And if he left,
new.
And
just having anyone
which is
new,
what we don't have.
And he's
good.
Fun on the mic.
Not just new. They have a bunch of shitty heavyweights that we see all the time. Yeah. But they don't last long because they all dog shit.
They all get knocked out by him.
They get knocked out by some, or they win a few dog shit fights and then they fight somebody that's anywhere in the top 10 and they get knocked out, or top 5.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would hate to see him leave, but if he wants to I don't know. I don't know. It's whatever. He also said he wanted to take a break after his last fight and go on vacation and shit, and he didn't do any of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And Mark Hunt, I could see Mark Hunt retiring. I know his contract's probably up, and I would guarantee if he still wants to fight, he's going to Bellator.
Or Ryzen.
I mean, I'm sure he could pay more at Bellator, but maybe Ryzen.
Who knows?
Why would he want to go? Why would the number one guy that bitches about getting beat up by roided people, if he goes to Ryzen, then fuck Mark Hunt? because you've just been a whiny bitch. You're going to like the most Pride-esque thing where Pride was the most clean sport known to man.
That's where he started.
I know, but now it's like you can't like whine and bitch about like losing to like people that had taken steroids and then go to the number one organization of steroid use. You can't do that.
I agree.
I mean, you can do that, but that's like, a little hypocritical, just a little bit. But I could see him going to Bellator just because he get paid more, get sponsors, and Bellator loves buying names, and they don't have a heavyweight division really.
Yeah, they do.
Mitch Rion,
Fedor.
Oh, Fedor, really relevant fighter. No.
What, Roy Nelson just went over to Bellator.
Yeah. And that's why I could see Mark Hunt going over there. Yeah. It's not like he's lighting shit on fire in the UFC.
I think he just beat Chet Congo.
Chet Congo's been fucking nothing forever, though.
He's a gatekeeper.
That's the thing.
At the top of his fucking...
Yeah. I mean, they're trying to buy old UFC fighters that have name. That way they don't have to build people up. It's like, oh, there's name. Casual fans recognize them. Old fans
Hey, at least they're still getting a paycheck.
Sure.
Good on them.
Sure.
Because the UFC would probably drop them and they wouldn't get paid anything if there wasn't a Bellator.
Well, if they still want to fight.
Yeah, if they still want to fight.
Set anything up outside of the octagon. But good win for Mark Hunt. Not a horrible loss for Derek Lewis. I mean, it is the heavyweight division.
Yeah.
And he did go to the fourth round.
He didn't really get knocked out. He just
gave up
due to exhaustion.
If anything, it was a quick stoppage.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't rocked. He was kind of turtling up because he was tired and he was starting to get hit. But it wasn't like he was hurt. He was just exhausted.
But he didn't...
he was exhausted.
It's not like he was mad they stopped it.
But from what it looked like, if we didn't know he was exhausted, that's a bullshit stoppage. Oh, yeah. That's a bullshit stoppage.
What?
But it's still good. Heavyweight. Doesn't need to take any more punishment. All right, so that was the UFC Fight Night. Auckland. UFC Auckland, New Zealand. Overall, pretty good card. A lot of fucking finishes towards the end, which was a lot of fun. Before we move on to our picks for UFC Singapore, go to our Patreon page, patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Donate $1 a month or more if you want perks and help support the show. Patreon.com/inspireddisorder. And moving on to the next card that's happening Saturday. Doesn't even have a date on it. Oh, yeah, it does. Saturday, June 17th. UFC Fight Night. HOLM versus CORREIA from Singapore. Somewhere in Singapore. Singapore. So you pick who goes first in this one.
You go first.
All right. So, hold on. Okay, so it's just all... Oh, it's all a Fight Pass card. It's so crazy to go from best performance in career in the division against former champion to headlining after 4 losses on a Fight Pass card against somebody that you should... All signs point to destroying Betch.
Yeah. She only got 3 losses.
Those all just happened.
Yeah.
So that's not good. She's ever increasing the difference between her win ratio and loss ratio, which is not good. So I'm picking first. Hold on, let me move this thing over here. So yeah, this is kind of I would imagine must win is going to be said a lot during the broadcast.
Yep.
Leading up
for a lot of these fighters.
Probably. Although I don't know, if Holly Holm loses again, I think they'd probably still keep her one more. As long as it's a decent fight. All right. So did I click on the right one? All right. So starting off with the first fight on the Fight Pass prelim. Ji Yeon Kim versus Lucy Pidlova, the Bullet from Czech Republic. I'm going to go Lucy on this one, just because she's not a shadow person. They both had the same amount of wins, but 2 losses for mine. That's all right. I'm good with that. I'm assuming new fighter, Octagon jitters, bada bang, bada boom.
Fuck Octagon jitters.
Yeah. That was more ring rust he was talking about. All right, so moving on to the next one. Naoki Inoue
Anyway.
versus Carl's Jr. John De Thomas, the Golden Boy. Carl's John De Thomas. Like, I'm hoping that's just from another country and it translates differently, but it seems like your parents are like pretending not to be illiterate. Like they're throwing extra words in to, like, we'll throw a day in there too.
It's just it just looks like a bunch of different languages kind of like smashed together.
It looks like a list of first names.
Carl's John De Thomas.
Yeah.
Both undefeated fighters, both submission heavy.
10-0, 6-0, yeah.
Nobody's knocking anyone out.
Nope. Tiny guys, 125.
Little baby men. I'm gonna have to go 10-0 over the 6-0.
I would too. Both shadow people. We're not getting a whole lot here. The list of first names is nicknamed the Golden Boy, which, you know, whatever. All right, so moving on to what looks like 2 photographs of fighters. That's right, people. We've got ourselves Kwan Ho Quack versus Russell Doan.
Quan Quack.
Doan.
Quan Quack.
Kwan Ho Quack.
Russell Doan.
Is this you? There's me.
This is
me.
You.
Motherfucker. This is in Singapore.
Quan Quack.
I am kind of leaning towards the quack.
Hey,
The handsome quack.
fucking ducks fly together, bro.
Sure. Quack quack. Quan quack.
Quan Quack.
Quan quack. Yeah, I'm going with Quan quack. All day. All day. He's either going to knock you out or go to a decision, but usually it goes his way. I would imagine that one loss is a decision. I'm just going to put that out there without any prior research.
Quack.
All right, moving on to Li Jingliang versus Frank Camacho. This thing's like fucking with my face muscles, trying to contort to make the right sounds. I remember seeing Jing Liang before.
Yeah.
I've seen many shadow person come and go.
And I've seen many Camachos. Hector Macho Camacho,
Right.
famous boxer.
Right?
I think his son was also a boxer.
Well, maybe this is a
Little
cousin.
Camacho, and this is Frankie.
Frankie Camacho.
Gotta go Jing Ling Yang.
Yeah, I probably would have done that. Although Camacho has 8 more wins and fights.
Versus who?
I mean, I don't know, but probably the same people Ling Ziang beat up before going to the UFC.
I feel like Jingling's been in the UFC for a couple fights, though.
Sure, 2. Right, moving on to the next fight. Scoggins. Let's see if this motherfucker makes some weight this time.
Or makes the fight.
Yeah, well, it's because he didn't make weight. Justin Scoggins versus
That
Oka
cute Japanese
Sasaki.
girl.
Yeah. Man.
Both submission.
Like, I almost want to just go with Sasaki just because he might make the fight. Scoggins may not. He may make it, but may be diminished from it. And I remember that dude being tall as fuck.
Yeah.
Only 3-inch difference. But reach advantage, 4-inch reach advantage, and a leg advantage. Man,
He's
I'm not
5
a fan
inches
of
taller.
guys that miss weight. I'm not a fan of. Like, they put a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, except for Rumble. Rumble's like the only guy that would miss weight, and I'd be like, but you gotta see him fight. Like, if you see him fight, it's worth it. Like, all these other motherfuckers, it's not really worth it. Especially like late era Hendricks. It's like, just why are you doing this?
And then he looks good at 185.
Yeah, when he doesn't have to cut weight. Yeah. I'd love to see him fight somebody that's really decent in that weight class and get destroyed, though. I'll go Sasaki. That bitch is going to beat up Scoggins. I just don't even... I think this fight might not even happen. So it's like... We'll see. Because it looks like it's at 125.
Looks like it.
Uh-huh. Alrighty, moving on to the next fight. Ooh, Alex. Bruce Leroy Caceres versus Rolando Die Another Day.
And I'm going to go with Caceres.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Although Caceres,
he could
always
lose.
Fun to watch, but he's not... He's very spotty. His record is probably very consistent throughout, it looks like. 12-10. For like a dude's record, not named Mark Hunt.
I was about to say that. It's like almost exactly Mark Hunt's record.
But,
I think Mark Hunt is now 13-11.
Oh, brother. All right. So, moving on to the next fight. Ooh. Cyril Asker versus Walt Harris. Man, this is a tough one. Walt Harris been looking pretty good, although so is Asker. They've both kind of looked, as far as new heavyweights, kind of coming up, not as well rounded. Harris is more like just more green. He's still learning shit, but he's learning shit well, doing things good. Asker's just a big motherfucker.
But I mean, you look at Harris's record,
dopey.
It's not great.
No, but he's getting better.
Is terrible.
He's getting better.
Yeah.
But when were those 5? If they're the front of his career, then he has a shitty manager. He was taking shitty fights for probably no money. But God damn it. Although I think he has lost at least one in the UFC.
I think he's lost 2.
Yeah. I'm going to go Asker. I think he's going to lose 3. The big ticket is the fact that UFC's not paying for him to get home from Singapore after losing again. Like, fuck, that ticket costs so much. All right.
Probably have to buy 2 tickets for these big fuckers, too.
Moving on to the feature bout for the Fight Pass prelims. Takanori Gomi versus John Tuck.
The Fireball Grandpa.
Yep. Versus John, my dick is between my legs, Tuck.
With another shitty record. Tuck's? I don't know. I'm going Tuck in this one.
It's not a shitty record. Only 4 losses. When you start at double-digit losses, unless you have like 3 times as many fights on the other, that's an issue. It's like every 3 fights he loses for John Tuck. Is this you, me? You
I picked Tuck.
All right with that. Moving on to the main card for the UFC Fight Pass. It's all on Fight Pass, people. You're not going to watch this shit anywhere else. Only on Fight Pass. Which, if you watch this show, especially like, from top to bottom our picks, and you don't have Fight Pass,
then it's
like,
probably makes
what
no
are
sense.
you doing?
Yeah,
It's so weird. Here we go. Tarek Safadine versus Rafael Dos Anjos, moving up to 170.
This is you.
Wait, is it 170?
Yep.
Right. Looked like shit against who did he just lose to? He lost to Eddie Alvarez, right? Was that his last fight? We haven't seen him fight because I think he moved up after that fight, right?
He might have had one more fight.
He didn't look good though. But I know he didn't look good in the Alvarez fight. Yeah. I want to say he fought. I don't know exactly what to pick, but I'm going to because it's Tarek Safadine, the Sponge, versus Rafael Dos Anjos. I think he is getting older. He does have the old Brazilian face going for him.
He's got a little Nogueira in him.
Which it could be deceiving. He could be like 25.
Yeah.
But with that many fights, I don't think so. Man, I think I'm gonna go with Dos Anjos.
2 banjos.
People have looked good going up in weight. Like if he was going down in weight, I'd be like, nah, probably not gonna be good. Safadine's no joke, but he's also he's not even in the top 10 versus Dos Anjos has competed with high level I mean, smaller guys, but like, he was a champ for a minute.
Yes, he was.
But I can see him totally losing. Colby Covington versus Dong Young Kim.
And I gotta go stun gun on this one.
I am totally okay with that, but only because it's not my pick. All right. So moving on to the co-main event, we have our... Oh, I was thinking of this guy. Marcin Tybura is the guy I was thinking of that I was confusing with that other guy.
Asker?
Yeah.
You mean the other guy that you picked?
Because they look very dopely the same.
Yeah.
Although I'm still good with the Asker one.
And this is your pick as well.
Shit, son. So this is kind of up-and-comer, knocking people out, versus Arlovsky, who's old as fuck, been getting knocked out
a lot lately.
I'm going to go Tybura in this one. I mean, I'll go with the stereotypical look of, like, dopey dad bod guy. And see what happens. The main event for UFC Singapore, Holly Holm versus Betch Correia. The preacher's daughter better have her father talk to Jesus and get an early, because I guarantee you Betch is praying. She's praying. I kind of hope Betch wins just so we can see a dance, a victory dance from her. That's super awkward and weird.
Trying to be sexual, but not at all.
Yeah.
I'm going home in this.
Yeah.
I just think that
she's bound to win a fight.
Well, this is like the perfect matchup for her.
But like, remember all of her performances that are not with Ronda Rousey.
I agree.
They were all before she got to Ronda. They were all decisions. They were none of them were dominant. Everybody was hyping her up.
That's fine, but like out of all the matchups, give her someone who's a striker that's not as good as her.
Right.
Who she'll counter strike, because Betch is always a fucking head down, go in type girl.
Right.
So I think that's the matchup that Holm will get a win, and I think that's what the UFC is
going to be
really
hilarious
hoping for
when she loses again.
Hey,
it's going to be hilarious. I mean, I would pick her.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you picked her.
Yeah.
Because she's not been winning much.
No.
So it would concern me to like pick her for another fight that she's going to lose. But she might win. Who knows? I don't know. It'd be nice to see her win. Everybody says she's a nice person, you know. But as far as entertaining to watch, you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
she's not that unless she's fighting Ronda Rousey. But then we saw what Ronda Rousey brings to the table with strikers. So there is that. All right, so we're gonna go over our picks for UFC Singapore, starting off with Pudalava.
And I got Inoue.
I got
Quack.
Oh, Quack. That's right.
I got Jin Liang.
I got Suzuki.
I got
Sasaki.
Saris.
I got Asker.
I got Tuck It
a
Back.
Question. I got two banjos.
I got Kim.
I got Tybura.
And I got Holm.
Bam. That is how it all works. That is how it all works. All right, people. We're done. Those are our picks. Those are our recaps. You can follow Keith at Keith Spurlock 1 on Twitter. I'm at Ray Taylor on Twitter and Instagram. Donate to the show on our Patreon page, patreon.com/InspiredDisorder, and go to InspiredDisorder.com for links to subscribe and friend us up on Facebook and YouTube and iTunes and Google Play and all that shit.
Friendster.
And buy artwork too, InspiredDisorder.com. LinkedIn's helpful. I'm on LinkedIn, but I don't get it. Anyway, people, peace out.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Inspired Disorder podcast. Embedded signals within this podcast have reprogrammed your natural thinking patterns. Side effects may include lack of inhibitions, erectile dysfunction, anal leakage, transcendental communication with beings from 4 of the 7 primary dimensions. In the event of a tear in space-time, please keep your hands down and feet together. Any loss of life or limbs due to interdimensional travel is not the responsibility of this podcast.